All right. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Danny and I am a second year intern at Rice Movement, and I'm here to tell you my testimony. So I was brought up in a Christian church ever since I was young, and that was back when I used to live in Cairns. And in 2008, my family and I moved to Sydney, here in Sydney, and it was just a huge change. Like the whole atmosphere just changed completely. It was just so much more pressure than what it was like back in Cairns, and even then, just starting from just moving here, just the amount of just expectations that my parents put on me and expectations that the school had on me, just added a lot of pressure on me. I think because of that, I just I lost my sense in what it actually meant to be a Christian. Like, even though as a kid I never really cared much about who this God or Jesus was, because all I cared about was just to have fun at church and just hang out with friends. But I think during my time in high school, especially, was a time when I was really lost, and I was really I was just unsure of what I was doing with my life and where my life was taking me to. Even though I attended youth group every Friday, I attended church every Sunday, I was still in that same place of only there to be with friends instead of there to actually work on my relationship with God. And I just realized that, it was just a time where I just neglected God completely, because it was just I just didn't really want that kind of figure in my life, where I just put expectations on God and just some stuff just aren't really fulfilled. But actually I was so wrong, because I filled my life with so much with this of worldly possessions and worldly obsessions, that actually just led me down to a path of just straight false satisfaction. And no matter what I tried to do, I just couldn't find satisfaction in any of them, which led me to end up in a place of depression and anxiety. And it got to a point where it was so severe that I ended up in times where I wouldn't I would keep myself in my room for 2 weeks. I wouldn't eat for weeks and weeks. I would get into stuff like cutting and all that other stuff, and all these things that would make me feel like I'm free from internal pain. But man, I was so wrong. Even though all those times where God was right there, I just didn't even see him. I didn't even recognize him. I didn't even acknowledge him. And I just feel so feel so bad for that moment. And as I was stepped into year 12, a time of preparation for HSC, there was just so much pressure going on. And so many other expectations from family, being put on me, what university I'll be going to, what career path I'll be taking. And I think just because of that, I was just pushed to the edge. I was just I just couldn't handle it anymore. But then one day I found out that one of my friends worked at this nearby cafe at this library that I used to somewhat study at. I decided to just, say hi to him, and he introduced me to this friend of him. That friend started sharing about Jesus to me, and for some reason, I didn't know why, even though I just did not care about him at all from before, something intrigued me, something about it was just so attractive that it drew me in, and I just wanted to know more about Jesus. So literally from then on, I dropped nearly all my studies. I just stopped going to the library, stopped preparing for anything, and after school I just went there straight away, and I'm always just with him. And then every time I'm with him, he's always just sharing me the good news of Jesus, and he's always just sharing me just how much Jesus loves me. And I think that just filled me so much, and I just realized, man, even after all this time of neglecting him, of pushing him to the side, of filling myself with worldly possessions and satisfactions that this world cannot satisfy me, I just realized, man, God has satisfied me with his love and mercy, and he has fulfilled me, he has forgiven me, and he has just shown so much mercy for me that I just couldn't bear it all. I was just like, man, this God is so good. God is so good to me that no matter what I did, He is always there. He has never left me. He has never walked away from me. He has never, put me in a box and just, shoved me on the shelf and just left me there for dust to just lay waste on. But He was able to, He was able to look after me. He was able to polish me in His perfect way, and that He created me in a way where I would be able to be witnesses of His gospel. And for me to be able to see that, man, I'm just so glad that, I'm just so glad that I get to, oh wait, cut that. I'm just so glad that I'm able to just see who God is. Man, I'm really glad that ever since then, of that friend sharing me about Jesus, I just devoted my life to God. And ever since then, I've just seen the beauty of who He is and the transformation He has done in my life. And for me to be in a place right now, even though I'm not really studying in uni, I don't really exactly have a stable job, I still find satisfaction in this life.